Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Today's Video Friday, and as promised, I'm here to show you a very cool technique. And this technique is using our blend markers, some rubbing alcohol, and a paintbrush, and some vellum. So if you have vellum, cardstock vellum in your stash, this is the perfect technique to get it out and use it up. So I know I always hesitate using vellum because it's really hard to attach to your project. The adhesive seems to show through. So I kind of hesitate. How am I going to attach this? I have to be so careful, blah, blah, blah. So this technique works. It is very cool, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to attach it. Okay, so let's get started today. All right, so I have a piece of vellum cardstock, and this is just 5.5 by 4.25. And I have some blend markers, and I kind of went with a fall theme for some bizarre reason, because it's obviously not fall, it's spring. And but that's okay. I am going to use my Saddle Brown Stays On. So who has a Saddle Brown Stays On and is not using it? I have black, of course, and I use it a lot, but my brown I don't seem to use as often. So that's another reason why I'm going with the fall look. Okay, so with this technique, you do need at least 91% rubbing alcohol. I have searched for the 99%, and I have not had any luck finding it, but I did find the 91% at my Walmart. And I have 70% upstairs, but I had to purchase the 91 for this technique. 70 doesn't really work as well. It doesn't really work. So what I want you to do is take your blend markers and just start with the lightest color. And just start, I'm going to use the brush tip, and I'm going to go with the side of my marker, okay? And I am going to just put this all over my cardstock, okay? Just random spots of it, okay? Then I'm going to use the next color, which is the Light Cajun Craze. And I'm just going to put some of that down also. So in the end, what I'm going to try to do is cover this pretty much all over. And I have 4 colors, so I might need to come back and add a little more, but that's fine. And this is Old Olive. I'm using the dark Old Olive. And again, remember, use the side of your marker because it will ruin the tip if you use the tip. You don't want to do that. All right. Adding it all around. Okay. And then my last color, which I think really makes this pop, is the Cherry Cobbler. And I'm going to use the light Cherry Cobbler. I don't want it to be too dark, so I'm going to use the light Cherry Cobbler. See, now that's bringing in some beautiful color. Okay. I'm filling in, trying to kind of fill. You don't obviously have to fill in every spot, but because the alcohol is going to do the work for you. So hopefully y'all have something fun planned for the weekend. Yes, hope so. Mother's Day weekend. Yay. That's always fun. All right, looking great. Okay, so we have it all filled in. Oops, and I have a Band-Aid on my finger, so that's going to make it interesting. Now, I have some alcohol in my little, and I have a little paintbrush here. And this isn't a very big paintbrush, and I don't think it's an expensive paintbrush. I don't need to worry about using an expensive paintbrush for this technique. So you're going to pick up your alcohol, kind of dab it off, and you're going to start up here in the corner and just kind of start dabbing the alcohol onto your vellum. And what's going to happen is it's going to start activating those blend markers because they are alcohol based. So between the two of them, and you don't want to go in a circle, okay, because a circle will just make it muddied up and make it brownish. So just do your little dabs. Okay, I tried this another way, and actually liked it, but didn't like it as much as this technique. I actually put some alcohol in a spritzer, and I spritzed it on. Totally different results, which I thought was, I was surprised. I kind of thought I'd get the same results, but because you don't get these dabs and the brush marks, you get a totally different look. Oop, that's pretty. So you kind of want to, you know, you don't want it overly wet, because what will happen is it'll just make these big blobs. And you kind of want, I personally, I kind of like these smaller blobs. You know, that's a stamping term, blobs. Kidding. We stampers have our own lingo, right? Okay. And the reason I keep going back is because once I get that color on there, I don't want to, just don't want everything to be, you know, cherry cobbler. And I'm afraid if I, okay, wow, it's looking good. All right. Now, what I'm going to do now is, you can just let it dry, but I'm going to use my heat tool, and I'm going to put it on the first one because that dries vellum really well without warping it. And I'm going to dry it. And it's only going to take a couple seconds because that's alcohol, not water. And it'll dry pretty quick. How cool. Okay, I'm loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Whoops. Okay. So there's the results. How cool is that? All right. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to attach this to your cardstock. And I forgot the cardstock. So I want to use Very Vanilla, simply because I'm doing a kind of a fall, more of a fall color palette. So I'm going to use Very Vanilla because it's warmer. And I actually think it'll look better for this card. So I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4. So I have a piece of Very Vanilla. And then I need a piece of our adhesive sheets. Okay. So this is just a little bit bigger than I need. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit. Okay. So there's our adhesive sheets. Now, just take this and peel off the front. So you're going to take the corner and just peel this back. Now it's going to be very sticky when you do that. And then flip it over and put it down on your cardstock. Like that. And kind of burnish it onto the cardstock. Okay. Then when you peel this back, you got sticky, sticky paper. You got adhesive sheets on there, and it's so sticky. So now you're going to take your vellum that you just did, and you're going to flip it over, and you're going to stick it down onto that. Oh, hello. Love, love, love it. Okay, so every one of these is going to look different. Not only using different colors, but depending on how much alcohol you use, what size brush you use, it's just going to look different. But how cool, huh? So it's secure underneath there. Don't have to worry about anything because the ink side is down. So even if alcohol touched it now, it wouldn't do anything. Okay, so now what I want to do is just cut this down a little bit. So I'm going to use my paper cutter. And our paper cutter is perfect for this, because it's, the blade is nice and, is actually, let me cut this down on this side first. The blade, our blade is actually long and will cut through more than one sheet at a time. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 3/4. I hate to throw these little strips away. Ooh, I should not throw that away. Could make a cool little card with that later. And by 5. I want to cut off, let's see, just cut a little bit off this side. Cut more off this side. So I have more extra to play with later. Yes, I'm a cheater. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to just mount this onto my Pale Papaya cardstock. And this Pale Papaya cardstock is just a smidge bigger. So I have a very small border. All right. So this was 5 by 3 3/4, and this is just like 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. Okay, so it layers on there nicely. All right. And then I'm going to take my Cajun Craze. This is going to be my card base. All right, so I'm going to layer this on here like that. But I need a stamp on it. I should have stamped on it first, but that's okay. I think I can make this work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Celebrate Sunflowers. So this is a bundle that's in the big catalog again this year. And I'm going to use my, where'd it go? I'm going to use my Stays On, my Saddle Brown Stays On. Because as I said, I want this to be more of a, actually more of a fallish looking card. Okay, so to ink up these big stamps, I like to do it this way. Just like that. Making sure I get it all inked up. Okay, I could have done this on the Stamparatus just to make sure I get it all, but so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this here since I have it. I'm going to put this here. And I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to make it like a little bit of a mask. Okay, so in case it went over the, and then I'm going to stamp this down. I'm going to stand up, put some extra pressure on it. Oh, cool. Very subtle, but very cool. I like it. Okay, so can you see that the color is showing through, but you can see the nice sunflower? Oh, awesome. Awesome sauce. I love it. Okay, so we need a saying. And in this set, there's Thanks a Bunch or Let's Celebrate You. I think Let's Celebrate You. Since we're not doing a bunch, I don't know. Let's celebrate you. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Actually, I could put the heat gun to that to let that, keep that from smearing. Okay, so I'm going to ink that up. Let's celebrate you. I'm going to put that like right there. Yes. All right, I love that. It stays on. Okay. And now I am going to use the new Treasured Tags punch, pick a punch. So how cute is that? I'm going to use this one. So you want to flip it over. Okay, and I'm going to trim this down just a little bit because I want it a little closer. And center it. This one more time and move it up a little bit more. Okay. Then I am going to punch this also. So this is going to be my layer that I'm going to attach this to. So let's see. I think I can put this on. Hopefully this will work. Put this on like that. Oh, that looks cute. Okay. Then this side in. It's kind of thick. I hope it goes in. Yes, it did. Okay, good. Since I have more than one layer going on, I'm like, uh-oh. That works. Perfect. All right. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. All right. And so I could either pop it up or I could just do it straight on. I think I'm just going to do it straight on. But I'm not going to do it upside down. Right? That on. Some adhesive on my card. And put this on. Wow, I like it. Okay, so the sunflower is very subtle. It has the color behind it, which I did not cover up the color, which is a good thing, right? Because I love that background so much. So there you go. Now I was going to show you the other card that I made. And this is the other card I made using the same technique, but I used a spritzer. And you can see that it did bleed, okay? It did cause some bleeding, but it did not do the bubbles. I guess that's what you would call it. Did not get this coolness. All right. So then what I did was I did a shadow stamp, and I used the Dragonfly Garden in Black Stays On, and I did the shadow stamp here. And then this is Vellum also. And I glued that on with our white glue. I just put a little bit on the back and rubbed it, and that does not show through either. So how cool is that? All right. And this is some of our new twine. So those are my cards today, and hopefully you'll try this technique. Oh my gosh, I think you'll love it if you do. So give it a whirl. Talk to you later. Have a great weekend and a great Mother's Day.